it's humbling. It's incredibly humbling to speak. You want me to speak? Okay. It's humbling to listen to the scale, to the the vibes and what you're doing and the complexity of your organization. And probably many of you are asking, what am I doing here? What the hell is this guy? Yeah. So it's a bit of a story. I've got to tell you a bit where we come from. That's part of it. At this point, I felt that after yesterday too, and it's important to us, we've got to slow down a bit to understand, really to find that space, something special. Maybe that's something that a place like Auroville can bring to the table. I'm here too also because a few weeks ago I got that copy of the government order, a government order that says that these people in Tamil Nadu, they want to partner with Auroville. Now Auroville, don't forget, Auroville Foundation was created by an act of parliament. We are under the HRD ministry. We're part of the system. And so it's interesting. Now we have to work out how to form that society and work together with the Tamil Nadu government. But that government order, yeah, with its proposal that Ram will elaborate on, but it's a journey that we're starting for 7 years. They'll support it. They want a campus. They want, yeah, because they see that maybe we've got some humble offerings. Look, I come from Tasmania. It's a beautiful place. I grew up there, in that lucky country, as it was known then. We got rid of most of our problems. We shot them or we poisoned them, and by about 1870, the last of the Tasmanian Aborigines was dead. Yeah, that's what I grew up with. We also, we have the most extraordinary place, and I grew up, this was part of my schooling, to protect places like this. This was going on at the same time as Silent Valley. To protect this river, a national campaign, yeah, it brought down the central government of Australia. And this was, I think, the spirit of the Aborigines sort of fighting back. But this was my political nurturing at that time. Thousands went to jail. And said, at that time, Silent Valley happened too. A few years later, after many journeyings and experiences and, yeah, being in May '68 in Paris and stuff like that, I came to a garden in South India. Yeah? Extraordinary. This place that, yeah, just south of Chennai, just north of Pondicherry, where this Auroville, this eco-city in the making. Now this is a picture of the community now. Auroville is 2,500 people. Half of them are foreigners from 40 countries. The other half are Indians. Most of those are from the local villages. It's an interesting demography. The people, their parents were in huts in the village, you know, 1 generation ago. But we are this place which, yeah, with its guidance, this extraordinary guidance of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. I came to Auroville in '69, yeah? Mother was there for 3 years after that. It's full of dreams, it's full of patterns, it's full of something, it's a 1,000-year plan. It's not 5, 7, whatever. It's 1,000, but let's work on about 100. Now this wonderful galaxy plan, that hasn't happened. It hasn't happened like that, thank God. We didn't get money from the Ford Foundation or the World Bank or anything like that. We've actually grown like Topsy rather organically, and we're just a bunch of, Auroville is about 80 communities, small communities, in rural South India. This, I think, is relevant. It's less rural than it was then, but this is not a city. Yeah, and it had a vision, and that vision we talked about yesterday so much, and was being invoked. What's that sort of, yeah, what's the glue that holds it together? And that, to us, that really helps. I mean, yeah, it belongs to humanity as a whole. After 45 years, I don't own any immovable assets in Auroville. After that time, if I die tomorrow, I can't pass on anything to anybody. That gets rid of some of these problems. It sort of frees up a little bit of space in your hard disk in here, perhaps for something else. Yeah? That it's unending education, constant progress, that discoveries from within and from without. And it's researchers. This is the sort of glue that holds us together. And that glue is important, I think, and we see that as the most important thing to bring back the sense of pride of everybody's place. This is our place, we've got a glue, but everybody's got that special thing that holds their community together. I think that's the background of successful livelihood or whatever. There we were in '68. It was just before I came. It was a few months after the student revolutions in Europe, and people came from all over the place. Kids brought some soil from 120 countries, put them in an urn in the center. Yeah, the problem was that, the next day there were bits of paper blowing across an empty landscape, and there we were with this situation we've been given. There wasn't anybody. Gradually, pilgrims, refugees from the 60s wandered out of the sunset and started sort of setting up shop. This was, I'm showing you this just because this is the background of this. We were lawyers and architects or electricians or God knows what, and we had to put this together. We had to work out how to live in South India together with the local people. And yeah, I mean, that's the landscape at that time. Yeah, it's just a few palm trees. He was a traditional healer, the guy on the left. He taught me about plants. That's me on the right, yeah? And yeah, but we put together these little communities. We were homesteading. And this was in amongst Tamil villages, yeah? You can see the barren landscape, little huts. These are our teachers. They were our teachers. They taught us how to make a plow, to plow. We grew our ragi and penai and samai and everything else and peanuts and this is, and these kids, these are the ones that have now become Aurovillians. And that's what's nice. They've gone through the Auroville schools, but we don't have exams, so we don't have bits of paper, yeah? And I'm not sure whether in our Sustainable Livelihood Institute, we also will have bits of paper. This is a big discussion in the community. So these are the challenges. But we watched what was happening, you know, and we learned about erosion. We learned about perhaps what to do with it, thousands of kilometers, and we worked with people in traditional attire, yeah? And we learned about check dams and putting up, drilling bore wells by hand and putting up windmills and, well, all this stuff. It's just what we did. And our windmills work. Our biogases work. Everything works because it's as if the windmill doesn't work, you don't get any water. And we live there. We didn't live in Pondicherry and come out for the day on some project. We're not on a project. This is our sort of life. And we also saw what was written, 500 years ago on the walls of the temple, describing a landscape and animals and whatever. And that's important. It's continued to be important to the stories of I don't know, Brindavan, Eden, that cellular memory that I think we all have that we want to get back to, whether it's the biodiversity, whether it's plenitude, but the garden. And for God's sake, we can design as many programs as we like, but if we haven't got that garden which brings in watershed planning, a bit of smart, information that you get from being trained or just experience, I bet I'm the only person in this room without a degree. We discovered these things called sacred groves. Yeah, that's where the genetic reserve was. We mapped them up and down the coast, GIS and GPS them and whatever, and all the phenological studies to find out where the good seed was, so we could bring it back, because it was, I think it's the most endangered ecosystem in India. Yeah, it's coastal forest. There's nothing practically left. But gradually, collecting the seed, learning how to germinate it, planting the seedlings, it came back. And all those values, 400 of the plants are used by the local people still. 200 of the plants of this local forest are edible. Now when the supermarkets do close, we'll be doing okay. Yeah, this is and everything started coming back. You don't have to bring it in, it just sort of checks out, and that's a good site, so they come over. And we learned how to grow lots and lots of seedlings. And from the beginning, we don't do any project without nurseries. So, yeah, from that to that. And that's this sort of journey of Auroville bringing back, yeah, something as a basis for a livelihood, yeah. But at the same time, we're out there collecting seeds and working with our traditional healers, and we're discovering this watershed from the top, from the hills, down through the tanks and the water lift systems, and yeah, great systems, you know, that still work. And the great thing is that with this is that you can't do it without singing, yeah? But it's really difficult to sing to a diesel motor. Anyway, and this, Nagaraj, he's a 14th generation traditional healer, eye doctor, a really good friend. And the systems in the wetland, the people out there at night collecting the fish, or when it dries up, and you know all this stuff. But it's just these patterns that we really respect. And we started working with, or the salt works, or the crafts, and the rope making, and the ducks, and the lime, and yeah. So we got to a point where, yeah, together with groups like Life, yeah, we worked with FRLHT, and that whole Marty Gudgill, and resource mapping, and blah blah. We've done it all, and it was good. This has continued. This was important, I think. This is getting the science and the technology. To have that science and technology, we have botanists, biologists working with us. It's good to have the knowledge. From that you can get some wisdom. Yeah, documenting from the traditional healers. Working with French Institute, you know, the palm leaf manuscripts going onto computers and keeping them. We learned our story and we could sing it a bit, so people came round and all that training started, yeah? And that's, yeah, and then 10 years ago, north of Auroville, we started working with the worst school in Tamil Nadu. 10% pass, no water, no toilets, 2 trees, you know, the normal thing, 4.5 teachers and 600 kids. And that's a normal rural, yeah. So we built an environment center. We use the school as the entry point. This is very important for us. It's, you know, everybody, you've got these customers, they turn up every morning, you know, regularly, and they've all got mums and dads, and so you've got the women's group involved, and the farmers, the men, and we got water to the school, hand pumps first, and then, indigenous plant nurseries. It's more or less a botanical garden now, this school. It's quite interesting. And water sanitation systems, you know, that works. It's run by the school themselves. No intervention without the local PTA, of course, yeah? But toilets that work, it goes through that, run by solar power, very, very simple, but you get clean water to then grow the seedlings. Environmental education programs using the local material, local information. This is, yeah, creating resources that relate to our bioregion. You reach it? Okay. Teaching, yeah, fauna sensitization. But this is the level of materials that we know the forest, we know the wetland. So, yeah, women's groups, medicinal plant awareness, kitchen herbal gardens. To this point, we're under the CEDAW project. This is under NRL project, where the women have formed their own group. They're collecting plants, making medicine, selling the medicine. They've got their own company. Health camps, ethno-veterinary work, working with Vivekananda, making herbal medicine for the animals. All this sort of thing, spirulina, compressed earth blocks. So Auroville itself, while this is going on, Auroville itself is organic since 40 years. Yeah, it's got its earth block skills. It's got its rainwater harvesting, renewable energy. Innovation is there sort of all the time. That's the sort of flavor of the place. Wind power, electric vehicles, decentralized, lots of small-scale industries. 5,000 people, I think, are working, you know, together with us or set up their own industries from trainings done in Auroville. So because of this, the Tamil Nadu government sort of came forward. There we were. Yeah, it's changed this area, 13 villages, into something that, yeah, from that to that, you remember. And here we are to a point where we've been asked to do the Sustainable Livelihood Institute. And they said that through trainings we did, the government came to us, they said, look, this is quite interesting what you guys are doing. We don't want to be right inside. We don't want to have to use a compost toilet every night or eat ragi biscuits or whatever. Can we have something just on the edge of your community? So 100 people to stay, a campus of 5 acres, to synthesize Auroville, 45 years of Auroville into one campus. It's an amazing challenge. We've had 4 architects working in a dream weaving process to create this campus over the last year.
Sounding or equally inspiring sounding part of it, which is actually working the